Have you ever felt like you're on the verge of something great, but a voice in your head keeps holding you back? A voice that tells you, what if they say no? Or what if you fail? That's the fear of rejection talking. And let me tell you, that fear has stopped more dreams, goals, and aspirations than any external force ever could. But today, we're going to change that. We're going to dive deep into how to overcome the fear of rejection and why mastering this fear could be the single most important step toward unlocking your true potential. If you've ever hesitated because you were afraid of hearing no, then this video is for you. By the end of it, you'll be equipped to turn rejection from something you fear into something you use to propel yourself forward. So stay tuned, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you view every opportunity in your life. Let's start by reframing the way you think about rejection. For most of us, rejection feels like a punch to the gut, a confirmation of our worst fears, that we're not good enough. But here's the thing. Rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's just feedback. Think of it as a form of communication, not a verdict on who you are as a person. One of the most successful authors in history, Stephen King, was rejected countless times before anyone saw the potential in his first major novel. If he had stopped after his first few rejections, the world would have missed out on some of the greatest works of horror fiction. The truth is, rejection is often just the universe's way of nudging you to keep refining your approach, to keep improving until you get it right. So the first step in overcoming the fear of rejection is changing your mindset. Instead of seeing it as a personal failure, start seeing it as a necessary part of the journey. Each rejection is a lesson, a stepping stone that gets you closer to your success. You're not being rejected because you're not good enough. You're being refined for the right opportunity. Now, let's talk about the power of hearing no. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but hearing no is often one of the best things that can happen to you. Every no is a filter that pushes you closer to the opportunities that are truly meant for you. It's like chiseling away the options that aren't right for you, leaving you with only the ones that are aligned with your goals and values. Here's something to think about. How many times have you heard a no and taken it personally? Probably more times than you'd like to admit. But instead of letting no shut you down, start viewing it as a guide. Every no is a door closing so that a better one can open. A practical tip here is to start flipping your internal script. Instead of focusing on, what if they say no? Shift your thoughts to, what if they say yes? This change in mindset alone can give you the courage to take more risks and put yourself out there. But even if you do hear a no, remind yourself that it's just one step closer to the yes that's waiting for you. To bring this point home, let's talk about J.K. Rowling, the author of the series. She faced rejection not once, not twice, but 12 times before her manuscript was finally accepted. Imagine that. 12 publishers told her that her story wasn't good enough. But she didn't stop there. She kept going because she believed in her work. Eventually, one publisher said yes, and the rest is history. The series has sold over 500 million copies worldwide and has been translated into 80 languages. Think about what would have happened if J.K. Rowling had given up after just one rejection. She would have missed out on all that success, and so would the world. Her story is a perfect example of why persistence matters. Rejection isn't a stop sign, it's just a detour. Now let's move to a more personal realm. How rejection affects us in social situations. Whether it's asking someone out, pitching an idea to your boss, or even just striking up a conversation at a networking event, the fear of rejection can be paralyzing. But here's a key fact. Most of the time, people are too focused on their own insecurities to judge you the way you fear they might. We tend to overestimate how much others care about our mistakes or rejections. Here's an interesting psychological fact. This is known as the spotlight effect. We believe that people are watching and judging our every move, but in reality, they're too preoccupied with their own lives. Once you understand that the worst-case scenario in social rejection isn't as bad as you think, it becomes easier to take risks. Here's a practical tip. Next time you're afraid to speak up or make a move, remind yourself that the real consequences of rejection are far less severe than you imagine. If someone isn't interested or doesn't respond the way you hoped, That's their story, not yours. Keep showing up, keep taking those small risks, and watch how your confidence grows. I want to hear from you. Share a time when you faced rejection but kept pushing forward anyway. What happened? What did you learn? Drop your stories in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about how rejection has shaped us for the better. Your story might just inspire someone else to keep going. Now, let's talk about a really powerful strategy: desensitization. Desensitization is the idea that the more you expose yourself to something, the less intimidating it becomes. So, how can you apply this to rejection? By intentionally putting yourself in situations where you might get rejected. Jia Jiang, a man famous for his 100 Days of Rejection project, did just that. For 100 days, he put himself in situations where he was almost certain to be rejected. He asked for ridiculous things like a free burger refill, $100 from a stranger, or even to fly a plane as a passenger. What happened? Not only did he desensitize himself to the fear of rejection, but he also found that people are much more likely to say yes than we expect. You don't have to go to extremes, but start small. Ask for something you wouldn't normally ask for, even if you expect to hear no. Maybe it's a discount at a store, a favor from a colleague, or a chance to lead a project. The point isn't the outcome, it's getting comfortable with the possibility of hearing no. Over time, the fear will lose its grip on you. All of this ties back to something called the growth mindset, a term coined by psychologist Carol Dweck. A growth mindset is when you believe that your abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. With a growth mindset, rejection stops being a personal failure and starts being an opportunity to learn and improve. Consider this. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the essence of a growth mindset, seeing failure and rejection as part of the process, not the end of it. When you get rejected, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve for next time? With each rejection, you get one step closer to success. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. Rejection is not something to be feared. It's not a sign that you're not good enough or that you should give up. It's a part of the process. Every no is one step closer to the yes that's waiting for you. Every rejection is a lesson, an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The next time you face rejection, don't let it knock you down. Don't run from it. Embrace it. Use it as fuel to push yourself forward. Your success is not in avoiding rejection, it's in how you respond to it. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want more tips on how to overcome challenges, build confidence, and live your best life, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on future content. Together, we can conquer any obstacle and keep moving forward. Let's keep growing together.